I'm Todd Raffel with Eightfold AI. We're a talent intelligence platform, and I'm here with Erik Smetana from Vanderbilt University. 7,000 plus employees, could be higher, maybe 9,000, depending on if you count things like postdocs and some other things that are kind of unclear for a higher educational institution as to whether they're counting the FTE count. And Erik Smetana is in charge of a very wide-ranging portfolio of HR stuff. He leads from pay to careers and talent acquisition and engagement. Essentially, probably characterize it as people and engagement. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So my role is to lead the people and engagement team, and as you'd said, that includes everything from talent acquisition to talent onboarding and processing to employee learning to compensation and org effectiveness. And so it's a pretty broad swath of things that touch that employee experience and that employment life cycle.
And you and the university have been, and you are midway through a massive overhaul of pay and competencies and the way people move internally and are hired and everything. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're in the midst of a pretty significant reimagining of a whole bunch of things that our team gets to work with folks across campus on. And so the big piece of that, almost thinking about sort of is the foundation of building a house, is a new career framework. And so we launched that effort in fall of 19, I guess it was, with an advisory committee to help us think about that. And then with that, we've been working over the last year plus to roll out that new career framework. And so we're really close to wrapping up sort of what I would call pilot phase 2, and then moving to phase 3, which is a broader implementation of that fundamentally sort of rethinks how we talk about career paths, career details, employee classification, and how those things all link together in the employee experience, and rolling that fully out over the next 6 months or so. So we're the end of the tunnel is in sight, and we're really excited about it. And it fundamentally changes some things for the employees at the university as they can think about what does a career at Vanderbilt really look like, and whether that's the role I'm in now or the role that I aspire to 5, 6, 7 years from now. What does that path look like, and how can I best prepare myself to move into whatever role it is that I really want to do or be when I grow up, if you will. So,
because there's been this history of people taking a job in higher education, kind of doing that job forever. Is that kind of the
right,
deal?
right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, higher ed, maybe more than some other industries I've worked in the past, tends to have a certain level of stability to it. And culturally, you have a lot of individuals that come to higher ed and they fall in love with that particular space. And folks will come and spend 10, 20, 30 plus years in an institution. We have a program, our service award program, where it's a big deal to get your Vanderbilt rocking chair at 25 years. And we have a whole lot of folks that get that rocking chair, and it's a big to do. And so recognizing that folks come and they stay, but they may not always fully understand what do those opportunities look like long term, and how can I continue to develop and advance my career. This new framework allows us to have that conversation, help them basically build out a toolkit to say, all right, I have a hammer, but where's my screwdriver, my level, my drill, et cetera, and really begin to do that thoughtfully.
And what's the pay aspect of it? You're trying to kind of
yeah. And so we've been shifting over the last few years to better align with the market. And Nashville is one of those places where folks are moving to from all over the US. And Nashville of 10, 15 years ago, most folks thought, that there's Broadway and there's the music scene, and they didn't necessarily think a whole lot else about it. But we have Fortune 50s and Fortune 100s moving to town, and it's a much more competitive environment than it has been historically. And so with that, we're really focused on how can we better align with the market, and then how can we link this career framework to that going forward so that we can continue to be competitive, be an employer of choice, and really be thoughtful about those things going forward, not just for our employees of today, but our employees of tomorrow.
And you're working on moving to Oracle recruiting as an ATS.
Right? Yes. Start of 2021, we moved to Oracle Recruiting Cloud. And so we had moved off of another platform that was serving as our ATS guy probably the last 5, 6 years prior to that. And so in January of 18, we went live with Oracle HCM as our ERP at the university. And we've been slowly working with internal teams to move more and more of our pieces and migrate over to that. And that allows us to take that career framework and other initiatives that we're working on and really do more within our systems, so that employees can create profiles akin to a LinkedIn or what have you, so that we can go in, identify top talent internally and help them advance that career perspective versus having to say, well, who is the available talent? And if we don't know those individuals internally, we may not be ready to say, hey, this opportunity is presenting itself. Is it something you'd be interested in? And so with that and the implementation of Oracle Recruiting Cloud, it's a whole new platform that from a user experience, it's a lot better for our campus clients. It's a lot better for applicants coming in, and aesthetically, it's just much more pleasing to look at. The system we're on, it felt very early 2000s sometimes. And you're like, oh gosh, that's not something I want to click the buttons on.
Yeah.
So.
Your team, if we didn't say so earlier, is 20-ish people?
Yeah, we have about 20 folks on the people and engagement team. And so, yeah, so that includes, as I said before, employee learning and engagement, our competent organizational effectiveness team, our talent fulfillment team, leadership search, talent operations. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody there. Oh, and most maybe we have a small team of one, if you will, or 1.5, our diversity engagement and outreach team. That sort of weaves in and across those things. So everything from professional development to how we do diversity recruitment and all those pieces in between.
Good. Erik Smetana from Vanderbilt University in Nashville, good luck with everything.